begin, I want to share some announcements. Um, well, firstly, stay tuned till the end because that's the announcement that I'm going to make um, regarding what's happening in terms of uh, my course development that's launched every around the autumn equinox, and some of the new and exciting things that I'm working on in terms of projects. If you haven't signed up to the newsletter, I'm not sure what you're waiting for. Do that, traumatransfiguration.com. It's just a really great way to get a lot more in-depth, behind the scenes things that are ongoing. In my writing, I can express myself more, and there's really no limitations. And yes, if you're serious about the trauma work, and or just want to know more about that process, the trauma transfiguration process, sign up to the newsletter. It's a really good idea. The other way, hey Megan, how are you? Um, Happy Friday. Um, the other way is to join our Patreon community where you get even more behind the scenes content and extra content that you wouldn't otherwise get here on YouTube. So before we begin, I just want to congratulate 3 of my friends who've recently launched a YouTube channel. So Janessa, who I often do the Friday Night Lives with, um, she launched her YouTube channel called Gin Glow Enterprise, and there she has these lo-fi music, which I just love listening to when I'm studying or when I'm in the bathtub. She also makes a lot of bath products, so those two kind of go hand in hand. So I really recommend you guys checking out Janessa's channel. I'll post the link in the show notes below. Essentially, it's Gin Glow Enterprise. My other friend Therese launched an ASMR channel called Sister um, Angel Therese ASMR. I hope I'm not getting those mixed up, but I know a lot of you are ASMR fans, and a lot of you have been asking me to make ASMR videos. And from the beginning, I kind of alluded to that ASMR is not really my avenue. My core work is trauma work, so in form of education, and so that's the way I present my information. But if you're looking for ASMR, tarot stuff, which is a world that I'm not too familiar with, go to my friend Sister Therese Angel ASMR. I'll put the links below. My other colleague, who I went to school with, is having a TED talk um, tomorrow. She's really passionate about youth and mental health. I think, I empathize with a lot of youth because nowadays, at least when I was, trying not to age myself here, but when I was an adolescent, a youth once upon a time, uh, we didn't, at least I remember I didn't even have a cell phone. So there was like MySpace and MSN Messenger. Uh, we didn't have Instagram and all sorts of um, places where, a lot of our youth unfortunately suffers now because of, societal expectations, image, etc. My friend Bisleen Ati, who is a naturopathic doctor, recently passed her board examination. She's having a TEDx talk tomorrow on youth and mental health. So I just want to post the links there too in the show notes afterwards. So yeah, so stay tuned to the end because then I have the um and oh, you weren't allowed to have fun until you were 18. I think sometimes it's better that way. It's less things to worry about because nowadays there's just, so much things out there that, it's another world. Anyway, stay tuned till the end because I'm gonna share with you some stuff that I shared with the people in the newsletter. So if you're not in the newsletter, I highly recommend you guys, uh, sign up. Just go to traumatransfiguration.com. So let's begin Tai Chi class. So this time around, I started bringing this swivel chair. I feel like I was too low, but that's okay. Um, all right, so let's begin. Am I good standing here? I feel somewhat. Can you guys? Okay, I think this is enough movement. All right, so you know the drill. Horse stance, um, which we covered twice now. Um, Finding your solid, rooted um, position where you feel stable and sturdy. So that means planting our feet shoulder width, planting the four corners of our toes, slightly microbending our knees, aligning our pelvis so that our sacrum becomes rooted and our spine begins to grow tall. Our shoulders begin to relax away from the ears, and we can just take a slow, easy, deep breath in. So, if you care to join me, first of all, if you're sitting on your chairs, this class is a very dynamic, moving class. If you're able to, I know not a lot of people are able, not everyone, excuse me, not everyone is able to get out of their seats. But if you're able to, I encourage you to participate. And if you have physical limitations that binds you to a seat or a wheelchair, you can still participate in some capacity. Okay, so let's find ourselves, take a slow, easy, deep breath in. Allow the belly to expand and exhale, release. That's pretty good. So take a slow, easy, deep breath in this time. Imagine as if your breath is going all the way to your feet. So breathing in. And just imagine anything that happened in your day that might have caused some tension in your body and just release that. Fantastic. Let's do that a couple more times. This time, I invite you to tap in the areas of your body that you may feel holds tension. So for me, that would be my forearms for some reason. And I encourage you to do bilateral tapping. This is a technique that I use in my trauma work with my clients because it allows for the left and the right brain to make a connection, which is oftentimes what happens is it dissociates, it disconnects, that's separating our mind from our body. So this is a great way to bring our body, our mind, our spirit back into the body. So just tapping at the areas that need attention. And at the same time, from the other exercises that we've done, we were tapping into the meridians. So I'm just gonna send my breath here because that's where I feel it most. And then the other way. Fantastic. I'm gonna start tapping onto my kidneys. Okay, so this is one way. We're gonna just change things up. Start tapping on the back of my neck here, bilaterally, left and right. And you can even begin to add another technique that's used in trauma work, the eye desensitization movement, EMDR, is by, as you're tapping, you can begin to move your eyes to the area that you're tapping. So if I'm tapping on the left side, I move my eye there, the right side, right. And in Chinese medicine, trauma and fear is actually stored in our kidneys. So by just tapping into our kidneys, left, right, and moving our eyes from left to right, we are using, I feel that Qigong came before EMDR, and this was present in Qigong way long before even psychology was invented. And so this is, an example of how a lot of Eastern practices, such as meditation, has been adopted or sometimes even appropriated in Western medical settings and rebranded. So meditation became called mindfulness. This sort of thing becomes EMDR. Tapping becomes EFT, emotional freedom technique, all sorts of things. But we're not going to get there today. Let's do our swivels. Yay! Trying to stay away from politics. But I'm pretty strongly opinionated about where my stance lies when it comes to not diluting the spirituality out of the Eastern practices, which is often what we see. Um, we see that the spiritual side is seen as something that's not scientific and therefore needs to be removed. Um, and I think that doesn't serve the wholesomeness, the wholeness of the practice. So I work in a spiritual plane, and if people don't like that, well, they can go somewhere else. Okay, so tapping onto our kidneys here and then giving a shake. Okay, here we go again. So shaking is one of those things that happens actually, shaking happens very automatically as a trauma response. So, there's the flight, fight, freeze, and fawn response. Shaking is something that animals do when they get into a situation where they feel traumatized. So you can see that, when if you've ever watched the National Geographic, I'm a big avid fan. The cheetah chases the gazelle, and then the gazelle gets away, and then they'll just do like a little shake. What they're doing is they're actually shaking the trauma off their body. So it's only very recently that, especially Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, wrote that book called The Body Keeps Score, where people begin to start being interested in the idea that trauma is actually stored in the body, not just in our mind. Um, and this is being well known to many of these practices and even non-humans that shaking is a good thing. Dreaming about trauma is actually a very healing process as well. So it can be seen as a symptom of a problem, like a post-traumatic stress thing, but it's a very natural healing process. So you can begin to shake things off of your body, like shake off any energies or anything that attached to you from either others. Okay, so this is how we can use ancient old practices that have been used thousands of years and integrate them and become more cognizant and aware about how these things are actually utilized to the well-being of our mind, body, and spirit. Hello there, mister. I have a cat here. Um, hi. Are you practicing Qigong? I wish you guys can see him. Here, let me see if I can angle the camera down slightly. Hello there, mister. Are you here to practice some Qigong? Qigong kitty. Okay. And it goes for my couch. Let me see how I can adjust this back. All right. Sorry for that interlude. Let's get back to Tai Chi. Okay, let's do Wu Chi. So Wu Chi is this waving hands up and down. Hi, Malulu. Hello. You want to do Tai Chi with us? So, up, inhaling, and down, exhaling. Inhaling, and exhaling down. So we're kind of like imitating the tides of the ocean as it rises and as it falls. And as you know, the full moon is coming up. How fast time flies. If you're part of the newsletter, you'll know what I'm talking about. So join. So the moon is so fascinating because not only does it have the ability to pull the tides up and down, it actually has the ability to pull the entire earth up and down. So solid matter like cities and mountains, it's quite fascinating. And that's why sometimes certain flowers only blossom on the full moon. Corals only release their what is called their gametes, their sex cells, on a full moon, which is so interesting. I don't know how that works, but they do. All right, let's go to our first posture. So grabbing our ball, our Tai Chi ball, okay, ball. I'm leaning towards my right leg here. I'm gonna bring the left foot up and we're going to go to our first stance, which is parting the wild horse's mane. So we're just taking a step that's comfortable, giving, and then receiving. So breathing in and breathing out, giving, receiving. One more time. Giving, inhale, receiving. So notice the slower you go, the harder it is. Half step forward, white crane, spreads its wings. Okay, left and right. And this is called brush knee. I forgot this last time. So breathing, exhaling, and pushing forward, back. So whenever I step forward, I don't step too far, and my back foot never leaves. I wish you can see it, but it never leaves like my back foot never leaves the floor, because the moment it leaves the floor, we lose steadiness. So it's always connected to the ground and then pushing. This is where we left off, okay? So the next move is repulse monkey. So from here, we're gonna take a half step forward and down. This is called strung the lute. You're stringing a lute. And then we're gonna use this other move called repulse monkey. So we're gonna take that left hand, move it back, and then it's like we're repulsing something away. So pushing back, and then the other right hand comes back with the right body. And Tai Chi is really hard in the beginning, but don't give up. It'll get there. In the beginning, I had no hand, feet coordination, eye movement. You know, like talk about being in a present moment. It's like for me learning something new to coordinate my body and become aware. So again, so repulse monkey is done 4 times. Back. Okay, I hope you're beginning to see where we're going here. And then back. So imagine you're repulsing an energy that you don't want, maybe from someone else. This can be really useful, right? Repulse monkey. And then from here, we're going to do single whip. This is called single whip. Remember when we did that Tai Chi ball? Remember this? The Tai Chi ball, and then we moved the Tai Chi ball left and right, using the movement that starts from the base of the feet, right? And then twisting from our pelvis and not from our back or shoulders. Well, single whip is similar. Okay, there we go. Single whip, except it's just more open. And it's kind of like you're spreading away this energy because you just kind of repulsed this repulse monkey. You're like moving away energy that you don't want near you, and now you're just kind of like moving it away. All right, so from here, from single whip, we can take our ball. So let's just finish that. Take our ball. I'm gonna lean to my right foot, bring the left foot up, okay? And I'm gonna push, ward off. Again, we're warding off that energy that we don't want. And then we're gonna grab the bird's tail and pull it. Okay? Give it another push. Woo. So right hand against the left here, push. So when we give, we also receive. And then push. Whoa, it's a lot of stuff to learn. Let's do that again. So single whip, okay? Grab the Tai Chi ball, right foot comes near, ward off. Take that energy away. Grabs the bird's tail, bring it in, push. Come in again. Hello. What are you doing here? Are you gonna do Tai Chi too? Huh? Got a lot of visitors today in our class. Hi. Hi, how are ya? Huh? Are you doing downward dog and pranayama? Fire breathing? Kapalabhati? Did you just wake up from your nap. Bless you. All right, let's do that again. So on the other side, it's a single whip. Single whip. All right. And then ward off. Ward off. Grab the bird's tail. Like imagine a long, good tail. And then push. Breathe in. Breathe out. Whew. So you could see how Tai Chi can be really useful when it comes to, earlier we talked about empaths absorbing energy. This is one way you can ward off, literally, energy that doesn't belong to you. And this can be used physically as well because this is a martial art. Push. And this is one of my favorite moves because that was the first move that I learned. We'll come back again to center. This time we're going to take the back of our palm. I'm going to move forward. Hey. The back of our palm. And so when we go to single whip, right, I'm going to take the back of the palm and strike. Okay? The other hand goes here, to chest, to heart. And then we can open it up. And then high pad on horse. Whoa. This is mind-blowing because this is a lot of complicated moves. Let's try that on the other side. So single whip, right? Single whip. I forgot what this is called. Strike. And then when I strike, like you notice, the striking hand, the knee also comes up slightly, but not leaving the floor, so just on the tippy toe. Come down. This hand comes to chest. The right hand, the right leg opens. Push. Palm turns in. Step, half step, like we did earlier. High pad on horse. Okay. I think we'll leave it to that because we learned a lot of complicated moves. So let's start from the beginning, okay? Starting with the Wu Qi, the ebb and flow. So breathing in and out. You know, the way I was taught, it was kind of the opposite. The person who taught me, so I first was introduced to Tai Chi when I was working at a mental health facility in Toronto called the CAMH, Centers of Addictions and Mental Health. I was doing a student placement there long ago, and there's this woman who is a Tai Chi practitioner who came in. So the way she taught me was that you breathe in and you bend your knee, and then the hand comes up. And I kind of like this better. And then as you breathe out, the knee comes up, and then the hand comes down. So the opposite. So breathing in, breathing out. Fantastic. And then it wasn't until later, until I went to China to do an externship, to learn about traditional Chinese medicine, that I was introduced to another practice called Baduan Jin, which is the 8 kind of Qigong postures. And that really opened the world to Qigong and back to Tai Chi. And now I use it for trauma work. So from here, we're going to grab our Tai Chi ball, bring it in, and then we're going to then part the wild horse's mane. I love the kind of like symbolism in here because we're literally taking the horse and we're brushing his hair. Hi, buddy. Hello. We're gonna brush your hair. It's so soft. Look at that. And then we're gonna go for a walk after, okay? Just give me a few more minutes. All right, so coming in and parting wild horse's hair. Half step forward. These half steps are really important because this helps us transition to the next move. So this is a transition move. White crane spreads wings, and then you see there's a kick. And then the other side. Brush knee. This is kind of like you're blocking the energy and blocking the body and pushing away and then coming in. So again, blocking away the energy, pushing it away. Let's do that 3 times. Coming in and I'm losing my coordination. Too many animals running everywhere. Half step forward. And this is kind of like a preparation stand. Malulu's trying to chase Buddy, but Buddy's not really affected. So then we're gonna do repulse monkey. 1, 2. I'm gonna repulse the monkey in here. Hey, are you ready to go outside? Okay, just give me a second. We're almost done. 3, 4. All right. Then single whip. Remember this. I'm just gonna face the camera here. Single whip. Let's do that. Single whip. Just moving it all away. Things that don't belong to us. Grab our Tai Chi ball. We're gonna repel it even more. Push it away. Grab the bird's tail. Push. I really like this movement where you place your hand here and then you push. Breathe in. Breathe out. 1 more push. Gonna do that to the other side. Single whip. Brush knee. Oh no, this is I forgot already. Grab the bird's tail. Push forward. And Buddy, don't eat Malulu's food. I see you. And then come back to center. All right. Oh yeah, I forgot. We're gonna do the other one, which is okay. Let's continue the single whip, and then back of the hand, open, palm turn in, high pylon horse. Okay, I hope I'm not mixing this up because there's so many of them. You can't do it wrong as long as with Tai Chi you're constantly moving. So we did repulse monkey, single whip, ward off, grabbing the bird's tail, and then push, and then so we did a lot of postures today. So I think we're gonna leave that for today. Tai Chi sometimes is often finished by, so we did, I guess the theme today is kind of like warding off energy. Like Malulu is trying to ward off Buddy by arching his back, trying to scare him. So I wish you could see this. we're gonna finish off by reaching down and really making a big ball with our hands. Breathing in, so we're gonna take positive energy, and this time we're not gonna ward off anything, and then grounding ourselves. All right, see that a couple more times. Breathing in and down. All right, 1 more time. Oh. And then just shake it off. I really love the shaking exercise. Okay, so before we conclude, as promised, I have some news to share with all of you. If this one lets me, may I have another 5 minutes? Oops, let me pull my blood chair. Okay, all right. Hello, hi. Okay, let's adjust this camera slightly. Okay, I think that's better. Nope, not really. Okay, so if you're part of the newsletter, you probably heard or read that I'm writing a book. Yay, surprise. Also studying for my board exams, 6 months ahead of time, studying 5 hours a day. It's kind of interesting, balancing the creative portion of writing a book and studying for information. What did you just put in your mouth? Hey, what's that? What is that? Oh boy, it's like having children. So let's talk about the book because that's more exciting. So I hope to have the book ready by October, just in time for my course. Now I have the book title, but I'm not gonna share that yet. And at some point, I would love your help to help me decide on a book cover. So I already found an artist who's gonna help me with the book cover, and yeah. So I wanted to share with you what I've done so far. We started off Tai Chi and poetry, so I guess I should continue that tradition, just a kind of way to ease off into something more poetic. Um, so let me open this up and read a portion of it. I've written about 37 pages of the book, over 6,000 words, and let me see where. Hmm. Where is that? Where, oh, where? There's just so much writing. Um, let me see. Let me see. Oh boy. Um, okay. All right. So this is what I read to everyone. I hope this is what I read. I hope this is what I hope this is what I read. So if not, then I'll just read you something completely new. Of course, it's story time. I got Betty right here on the side, and then there's Malulu there scratching the couch. So here's a little sneak peek for those of you who are interested. If not, feel free to go. Here's a part of the book. So, are you doing some ASMR effects there, mister? He's scratching the couch. Okay. It wasn't until I turned 30, 10 years after the sexual assault, that I had a near-death experience which changed everything. Surely this experience could be considered quote-unquote traumatic, but it didn't turn my life to a downward spiral mess that my 20-year-old self experienced with the sexual trauma. This time I'm in the Philippines, in my mom's hometown. We live right next to the Pacific Ocean, and one of the things I love to do most when I'm there is to surf. I can't really remember how exactly it happened, but I do remember being swept away by this rip current. I was trying to use it as a way to get out of the ocean to catch the waves, but I didn't anticipate the force and the width of the current. So imagine a wide, strong river that is literally sucking you out into the middle of the sea. When I realized what was happening, it was too late. I knew that trying to swim against or even across it was futile. Almost there, almost there, almost there. Oh! He does this. He tries to knock me off my computer. I know, I know, I know. Alright, I guess we're not gonna get through this reading. I lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. I tried to, but I couldn't get out, so I just let it take me into the ocean, in the deep, where my deepest fears lie, the fear of death. I remember floating backwards in my belly against the surfboard as it pulled me into the middle of the ocean. I could see the distant buildings getting smaller and smaller. Panic almost wants to sink in. But having grown up in the islands, I remember my mom telling me that the best thing you can do is to stay calm. As long as you can see the shore, you can make it back. Growing up on the islands meant that most of us were taught how to swim at an early age. You just never know when your boat is gonna sink, which often happens in the Philippines. Okay, so I think that's all the time we have because Mr. Buddy wants to go to the washroom, right? Okay, thank you all of you for tuning in. Maybe I should create separate videos for book updates. Let me know if that's a good idea. So we'll separate the Tai Chi and the poetry to two different things. And that way I could produce more content. Along with, of course, the Buddy and Malulu videos. Thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate your time and your energy. Namaste. Buddy needs to go, so I gotta go. Sayonara.